Good day, everyone. How are you doing? So today I'm going to be talking about FFP. FFP. I know as a football fan that I've been watching football for a long time. Okay, you'll be hearing about FFP, but you don't really understand what FFP is all about. So this is the major reason why I'll be doing this video today, for you to understand what FFP is all about. Okay, so FFP stands for Financial Fair Play. Get it? Financial fair play. Okay, and it's a set of rules introduced by the Union of European Football Association, which is popularly known as UEFA. Like, UEFA is the acronym of like Union of European Football Association, to ensure football clubs operate within their financial means, promoting sustainable and fair competition. Okay, this the goal is to prevent clubs from overspending and accumulating debts, which could threaten their long-term survival. Okay, so here is how it works. Okay, the first thing here is the break-even requirement. The break-even requirement. Work with me. The foundation of the original FFP framework is the break-even requirement, which compels clubs to demonstrate that their relevant expenditures do not exceed their relevant revenues over a defined monitoring period. This assessment period typically span 3 consecutive financial years. The rule essentially forces clubs to operate within their generated means rather than relying on unsustainable owner funding to cover annual losses. Okay, clubs are permitted a specific level of acceptable deviation or deficit over the 3-year monitoring cycle. Historically, the maximum accumulated losses allowed was 30 million euros. This deficit has to be covered by contributions from the club's owner or related parties, provided these were in the form of equity or shares, not debt. This ensured owners absorbed losses without threatening the club's long-term financial health. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be talking about is calculating relevant income and expenses. Okay, so work with me on this. The determination of FFP compliances hinge on a specific accounting methodology that defines relevant income and expenses. Relevant income includes core football related revenue streams such as ticket sales, broadcast right fees, okay, commercial and sponsorship income, and profits from the sale of players registration. On the expense side, relevant costs primarily encompass players and staff wages, transfer fee, amortization, and general operating expenses. A significant feature of the calculation is the exclusion of specific spending types designed to encourage long-term investment. Expenditures on youth development, including academic facilities and staff, are excluded from the break-even assessments. Costs related to club infrastructure, such as improvements to stadium and training grounds, are also excluded. These provisions incentivize investment in assets that do not immediately inflate the player transfer and wage market. So the next thing I'm going to be talking about is the penalties for non-compliance. Okay, meaning that this is the penalty that the clubs will incur, the penalty that the clubs will incur if they didn't comply to these FFP rules. Okay, this is the next thing I'll be talking about now. So work with me. The UEFA Club Financial Control Body, that's the CFCB body, monitors compliance and imposes sanctions on clubs that fail to meet the break-even requirements. Disciplinary actions increase in severity based on the scale of the breach and any history of non-compliance. Sanctions begins with less severe measures such as a formal right warning, reprimand, or financial fines. More stringent penalties include the withholding of prize money earned from UEFA competitions. The CFCB may also impose sporting sanctions such as restriction on registering new players or limitations on squad size. in the most serious cases of non-compliance, the ultimate sanction is exclusion from future UEFA club competitions. So the next thing I'm going to be talking about is the transition to the financial sustainability regulations. Okay, transition to financial sustainability regulations, which is the FSR. Like, I'm going to be talking about the transition now. Okay, so work with me. The regulatory framework is evolving, which the introduction of the financial sustainability regulations, that's the FSR, replacing the original FFP rules. The FSR maintained an updated version of the break-even requirement, now allowing an increased acceptable deviation of up to 60 million euros over 3 years, provided it is covered by equity. However, the FSR includes a major new element: the new squad cost ratio, which shifts the focus towards controlling excessive spending on player-related costs. This new rule limits a club spending on player and coach wages, transfer fee amortization, and agents fees to a specific percentage of its total revenue. This is intended to create a more direct and forward-looking measure of financial health, contrasting with the original break-even rule. The squad cost ratio is being phased in, starting at 90% in 2023/2024, decreasing to 80% in 2024/2025, and settling at a permanent ceiling of 70% from the 2025/2026 season. So, in addition, the Premier League has its own version called the profit and sustainability rules, which you people know as PSR. Okay, because many people also don't know what is PSR. Like the Premier League fans, people that watch Premier Leagues very well, okay, they also hear about PSR, but they don't know what the PSR is all about. Okay, so the PSR is the profit and sustainability rule, which allow clubs to make losses up to £105 million over 3 years. Okay, this is the one Premier League operates. Okay, but it doesn't mean that the Premier League does follow FFP. They also follow FFP, but they also have their own, which sustain them, like the financial structure which sustain them, which we call PSR. Okay, so this is all about FFP, PSR, like what is all about. Okay, so in my next video I'll still be talking about another thing. Okay, so anticipate my next video by tomorrow. I'll be talking about something that's related to footballers. Okay, so if you're watching on my YouTube, please subscribe, like, and also I want to hear your thoughts on everything that I've said so far. I want you to comment on my this YouTube. Like, if you are watching on YouTube, comment. If you're watching on Instagram, Facebook, comment. I want to hear your thoughts. Okay, and also please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're watching on YouTube. Follow my Facebook if you're watching on Facebook, and follow my Instagram if you're watching on Instagram, so that we can grow this channel together, and also expect interesting topics in the future. So see you on my next video. Bye.